took his struggle and his strife, learned to monetize his life. Merch like Jay's darkest.
Yo, it's Merch Life Jay. This is the Merch Cast, man. Welcome back to season 3. And this episode 1, man, I got a very, very special guest today. Very special guest today. Uh Miss Clarese. How you doing? How you doing?
Hi. I'm blessed and so are you.
Great to hear. That's great to hear. Um, so my first question, I really want to know, for the viewers, for the people that don't know you, um, what would you say got you started as an author? What would you say made you wanna even produce a book?
What actually started the little wheel turning, I would say, is my surprise at myself that all the things that I had endured growing up, I was still level-headed. Um, I was still persistent. Most people would have become subjected to their environment, traumatized, needing counseling and things of that sort. But the fact that I still had a desire to push forward, I said, no, somebody has to hear this story. Somebody has to know that survival, you have to have an audacity to survive. So that's what kept me going, basically.
That's that's really deep. That's
Yeah.
really deep. I think every author has a an origin story like superheroes. We all have an origin story of like what made us, become who we are. And I think that yours really, 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 really speaks to the transformation or the effect that people get when they read your book.
Mhm.
So a little bit about your book. Well, I guess that would be the same question. I was going to ask what inspired your book, but what what brought the courage or the because a lot of people say I don't want to write a book because I'm scared of people knowing my story or I'm scared of telling my business or the things that they say. So what
Mhm.
gave you the courage to actually start to produce and put it out?
It was actually more ignited after I went through losing my husband to suicide. Um, Growing up in the projects, which is where the book begins, seeing so many devastating scenarios, and then while living in the project, watching how those scenarios affected the people that lived there, like they went more downhill and became like a product of the environment. I would constantly tell myself, I'll be in the ghetto, but I refuse to let the ghetto be in me. So I think pushing through, it's a witness to someone else because you do have a lot of people who are afraid to come forward, not knowing that even though it was embarrassing and humiliating, it's also uh, a story of survival. And it'll not only be therapeutic for you, it'll be healing for somebody else. Yeah, so many times as they said back in the day, what goes on in the house stays in the house. And this is why you have so many people in jail right now, dysfunctional adults who are affecting the lives of the children they raise because they won't free themselves. And even in all the suffering and humiliation, you have to want to be a better individual. You have to want to be free and not live the rest of your life with these traumas, in the back of your mind.
That's so true.
Yeah.
That's so true because a lot, like you said, a lot of people are grown and they still being affected by the things that they haven't healed from or haven't attempted to heal from for the lack
Yes.
of knowledge of knowing how to heal and from, like you said, the cultural dissonance of us not talking about certain things that are difficult to talk about. And I've been on both sides of the spectrum. You know what I'm saying? I've been the problem, and I've been a victim of the problem. You know what I mean?
Yes,
So
me too.
I
Yes,
can totally understand. Like, I think that's a big step, having our community be able to speak on things, even like on a personal level, amongst ourselves, amongst family, about what things that are wrong or things that were wrong, and how we can change them. I think that's a big key. One of the
yeah,
biggest things that I've learned from you is that sometimes you got to have those difficult discussions, you know?
absolutely, absolutely.
And I want to know, like, what do you think, as far as our community goes, what do you think would be a catalyst in getting people to have those discussions?
I think it's all about mentality, because if you don't change your mindset or your thinking, your behavior is not going to change. So if you allow yourself to stay with that same mentality of, like, mine was the projects, but if I allowed myself to stay subject to that same mentality of ho hum, this is where we're going to be, we're going to struggle, it's going to be poverty, the same nine, until I changed my mind and said, if I made it through all this and I'm still here, then there's something greater for me. And then on the flip side, we have to also come to the knowledge that these things happen not to make you bitter. It happens to make you better. So it's like people who want to be millionaires, but you still have the same scheming, lying mentality. So until you change your mindset, your behavior is not going to change.
That's a fact. Until you change your mindset, your behavior ain't going to change. And how can your results change if your behavior doesn't change?
Exactly.
Get excited about that. That's
Exactly.
a gem right there. Y'all need to rewind that part. Watch that again. So yeah, man, I think that's definitely some good advice. Like changing the inside. You can't change the fruit until you change the root.
That's it.
Period. It
That's
don't even sometimes it don't even be about the seed. It just be about what you feed in the seed. Because you're the
right.
seed, so you gotta what you putting in your mind, it's a culmination, I believe, of things, especially in our youth, because you got not just the music, not just social media, not just the television, but you got older people of our community that
Hmm.
were influenced by the things that we've been through, like you said, affecting the lives of the children. So to change the inside, y'all, to change the community, period, it always has to
Yes.
start with ourselves.
Yes.
What I'm
And to
saying is,
change the bloodline because
yes,
our parents back in the day, a lot of stuff, like I said, was brushed under the rug. And because they weren't healed, those same traumas and mindsets and behaviors were passed to their children. So you have to want to see, change your bloodline and your legacy because your children don't deserve that.
yeah, exactly. They don't deserve that, man. And if you don't change yourself first, how can you
Exactly.
expect anyone around you to change? You can't wait for someone to change because if we all waiting for someone else to change, nobody's ever going to change.
That's it.
So like she said, you got to build within yourself first, man. And that's what I like. That's what I like about your book, because it's like not just the outside and not just the inside, but it's like it gives you a full spectrum of not only who you are, but how you became who you are. And that's really what I love about your book. What would you say if you had to tell someone that never read your book, what would you say is the most transformational uh part of your favorite part of your book?
Most transformational for me was getting the revelation. While you're in it, you don't see why is all this happening to me. But if I didn't, or if God didn't allow me to go through that and survive, I wouldn't be the person I am right now. So understanding and revelation, learn the lesson instead of having a mentality to get back at somebody or this person did that. It's time out. We don't have control of the hand that we're dealt, but nevertheless, that hand can be played effectively. So once I got the revelation, when I wrote the book, I felt a certain type of way toward the people that did things to me, and that was 40 plus years ago. But right now, I don't regret anything I went through because it gave me strength, it gave me power, it gave me wisdom, it gave me insight, and all of those are really to be a blessing to other people right now.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I always tell people about the sandpaper effect.
Yeah.
Everything that you go, oh, you know about that. Yeah, everything you
Yes.
go through
Yes.
is rubbing you, is molding you, is shaping you. But at the end of the day, you come out shiny and polished, and the sandpaper is balled up
Right.
and it's useless now. It has no more
Useless.
use. So
Useless.
all them trials you went through, all them tribulations you went through, all that stuff is now.
Yeah.
Now it has no use because you've gotten everything from it. And that's why you shiny. That's why you polished. That's why you look the way you do. That's why you don't look a day over 40.
Thank you.
hmm That's why, right
Thank
there. But yeah, man, I think that your book is like one of the, I would say it's probably one of the best books that I've published out of the 200. And I think it's 228 now that we published. But yeah,
thank you.
definitely one of the best books.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
for the viewers, where can they go get it? Where can they get a copy?
Oh, it's available on Amazon under the title Sea Beauty, SEE, Sea Beauty for Ashes, a memoir. So it is available on the Amazon platform.
Yes, man. And I got my copy already. I'm gonna order one from Amazon too, though, just because.
Okay. But one thing I wanted to share too, why it's so important to tell your story. I have been just sewing my book into certain individuals, strangers. Um, so in the midst of me going to the doctors, I guess I would say over the last year, I told my doctor that I desired to write a book. So when I went to my appointment 2 days ago, I laid the book on the desk. And my doctor was saying, "Oh my God, you did it." I said, "Did you think I was lying?" So in turn, she has a class she mentors um, on the side. So she has a large group of mentees.
Mhm.
So because I have come through and she's heard my story just from our conversation, because my doctor is really down to earth, she asked me, and she's scheduling in the month of July an engagement for me to speak to her entire class of mentees.
Hey, let's go.
Yeah, this is why you have to tell your story. Be healed.
Yep, because you never
And
know who's gonna need it.
exactly, exactly.
Never know who's gonna need it, who's gonna be affected by it, who might be going through it, something similar. They might know someone going through something similar. It's so many ways that your story, and this is literally one of the reasons why you went through it, because you're supposed to tell what happened to affect other people.
It,
Like you said, it's not to tell to play the victim or to be bitter or to
right.
be upset with, the villain in your story. Because
Mhm.
we're a villain in somebody else's story.
Absolutely. And they were just tools
hmm
that God used to mold me. So
hmm
once I got the right mindset, I was able to get the revelation that it was it was for my good. Yeah,
Yes. Yes.
yeah,
Y'all hear that? That's the key right there.
yeah,
Key is, I'm sorry, but you're gonna have to go through something. That's
yeah,
one. Number two
absolutely.
is you're gonna have to utilize a different mindset than the mindset that got you in that something to get out
Yeah,
of something. And once you get out, it's time for you to go scream at the top of the hills and tell people
that's it.
you got out
Yeah,
because it's gonna help somebody else get out of it too.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Excited. That's the key right there. That's the
Mhm.
that's the path right there. Like that, man. So is there anything you want to say to the viewers of the Merchcast before we go? Like where they can find you, where they can get the book again one more time, and just a word of wisdom, I guess.
Yeah. First off, my book is available, as I said, on the Amazon platform under the title CSEE, Beauty for Ashes, a memoir. And I just want to encourage anyone that's watching to have the audacity to survive, because survival is a choice. You have the power in you to survive anything. Don't let anybody dictate. Don't let anybody put you in a box. Some of you were born to bring greatness to this world, and you don't even know it. So as I said, I encourage you to keep pushing forward, keep focusing, be prayerful. God hears the desires of your heart. And you are here and you were born for a purpose. And I believe it was Steve Harvey said that there were two things that were very important: the day that you were born, and then the day you find out why. So you're here for a purpose. Don't leave this earth without fulfilling that purpose. It's rewarding, it reaps benefits, and somebody needs to hear and to see and to witness a true survivor.
Wow, that was great. I can't wait to see the footage of you speaking to the class. That was great. Thank you for coming to the Merchcast, Miss
Been
Clarese.
an honor, been an honor.
Yes, ma'am. And we'll see y'all on the next episode, man. Get excited.
Took his struggle and his strife, learned to monetize his life. Merch like Jay's darkest times were all brought to the light. Gave sight of the path of walking in his gift, the motivating shift, and all the put downs, the uplifts.